go. That's a spirit.
And having had a hot water tank burst, I happen to know that it actually drains away from the computer.
That's important to know.
Yeah, well, it got it worked out the way it did because it was a surprise.
All right,
what the hell was that noise type surprises?
Can the audience hear us? Is the video and audio coming through?
Possibly.
Ask in the chat.
I gotta go let the dog in. Be right back.
Oh.
Ooh. Yes, okay. One person, 2 people can hear us.
Excellent.
That's actually our whole entire audience, so we're good.
Yes.
Yep. No, we got like 30 some people in there, I think, last time I checked.
Somebody isn't happy.
Everything okay, Josh?
Other than my wife is yelling at my children. Sure.
All right, and just so the chat knows, we are doing local audio recording for this, so that when I mix the final audio and YouTube podcast together, the audio quality will be better than it has been in recent weeks. So I'm right now live pumping audio through my webcam, so my audio might be a little messed up, and the live audio probably won't be the best, but the final product will be good. So.
I wonder if I should be doing that as well, or if it matters.
I mean, I haven't had to do this particular setup in many years, and it used to be that there was a conflict if you tried to send audio to 2 different applications. So I'm just keeping them separate. It may not be a requirement anymore.
You got to keep them separated.
Oh yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
All right, but if you could all do me a favor. No. And one by one, once you verify that you're recording, just give me a clap on camera.
Oh, I'll give you the clap on camera.
Recording.
Pushing the button. Pushing the button.
Oh.
Jeremy, you can do it. You can push the button.
Oh, I pushed the button. I just want to know if it recorded while I was muted, and it does, which is just dirty.
Well, then give the clap if you're recording.
Well, you got to wait for the camera to.
No.
All right, clap.
Yes. All right. Is it paying attention to me now? Are we good?
All right. Got Jeremy. Josh, your turn.
It is time for me to perform the clap. Am I clapping?
All right. And Sebastian, please.
Okay. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
No. Okay, because I switched over to the webcam mic on the stream.
Yep.
Okay. So here's my sync clap for you.
I've had better.
So lame.
Oh, you don't. All right, here we go. Take 2 for me. Okay. All right.
Okay, Sebastian, before we start, just one thing. Watch your hands during the podcast, because you have a tendency to do this. So anyway, I just don't know.
So keep my hands in my lap is what you're saying?
Keep them away from your face. You can do other things with your hands, just keep them away from your face.
I appreciate it.
Other things
I appreciate the constructive criticism. More than you know.
That's sad.
Better hurry up. I only have 74 hours left of space on my disk.
All right. Oh, go for it, Sebastian.
You know what? Hold on a second. Am I supposed to do the clap thing with my local recording as well?
Yeah, that's
why you should have.
Because I just now started recording, so let me do that again for you, okay?
Okay.
Jim, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
My head.
Nope.
There you go. It's got to be on me. Hey, Josh, enough talking.
The video wasn't on you, though.
Me.
You got All right, try again.
Is it on me? See, now it's not doing this. Now it's not switching over to me when I have the recording going.
It's on you now.
It is?
Yeah, we saw you fondling yourself.
Okay. All right. Now it's on me. How was that?
Right. That was perfect.
Painful, but
Aren't you? Are all of our live viewers? Aren't you glad you waited for this?
Aren't you glad we're live?
Think of all the things you could be doing. Okay. All right. Well, we're ready to go then.
Okay. Let me pull up. 1 second here. Bear with me for just a moment while I pull up the document that I should have had open all along.
maybe it was just the documents that we made along the way.
It's going to be a fairly brief one this week, hopefully. Nice and tight. A tight 45.
As opposed to a Colt 45.
Right. Well, you may need a Colt 45.
Get you every time.
Okay. In 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 529. We recorded on January 29, 2019. I'm Sebastian Peak.
I guess I'm Josh Walrath.
No,
it should have been Jeremy. I'm sorry.
I was still trying to figure out January 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5/29. January 16th. I'm Jim
Did I
Tanner.
say 29?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll stare at it and I'll do it over again. Okay. In 3. No more clapping. 3, 2. Hello and welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode 529, being recorded on January 16, 2019. I'm your host, Sebastian Peak.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
And I'm Jim Tannis.
And we are back after our marathon CES podcast recorded just 5 days ago, I think. 4 or 5 days ago. And there's still more to talk about. Believe it or not, in the last 5 days, some things have happened. Something was reviewed, and we're going to talk about it. I guess we should mention that we're doing this live, and so if you want to be notified of live events, you can join our spam list. And I assure you that you will only receive notifications from us about live events and nothing else. And only official site business. None of Josh's personal web streams are
Unless you really
included in
want
that.
them.
Well, I mean, some people probably do.
Maybe.
But yeah, let's get right into it. And first up, we have a review that actually I published on Tuesday. It's for a gaming headset. This is interesting. It's from HyperX. And HyperX, they had their first wireless headset back in, I think, May of last year. And that was like a standard 2.4 gigahertz USB dongle. And they have since moved on to this, which is a kind of a hybrid product. It's a wired gaming headset. So it uses a standard 3.5 millimeter connection, comes with a Y splitter to go to mic and headphone, and works as your typical analog gaming headset. But at the same time, it's also a wireless product, but using Bluetooth. So this can connect to any Bluetooth compatible device using either the standard Bluetooth codec or AAC or aptX. And if your device supports aptX, that's what it defaults to. I did my Bluetooth testing of this using a Samsung Galaxy phone, which defaulted to aptX. And I'll cover listening impressions here momentarily. First of all, just real quick run through on the headset. It is a very lightweight headset. I believe it's somewhere, let's see, how many grams is this thing? It's only around 12 ounces or so. So it's well under a pound, pretty lightweight on your head, very comfortable, nice and nice padding level, soft, like leather-like material for the ear cups.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
I mean, it depends on this bread box. I mean, it's a different shape. I think it would fit inside of many bread boxes. Yes.
Okay.
It's an important thing to note. But no, these other than the comfort level, which I found to be very high, the sound quality is excellent. It's very, very accurate, detailed sound, a little bit of a bass emphasis. It's that kind of modern, slightly bass heavy sound, but still with excellent clarity. And then on the wireless side, very, very good sound. And I did almost all my listening with the aptX setting. I had developer settings on my phone turned on so I could switch on the fly between aptX and AAC and SBC, and AAC sounded a little bit better. aptX was far and away the winner, but whatever you can connect with, it will accommodate it on the Bluetooth side. And then analog side, it was great. So the only real drawback I could find at all was the price. And these are $200 MSRP headphones. So, you know, last week we talked about a different HyperX product they showed at CES, which is $300, which is using the Audeze drivers. This one's $100 less using conventional drivers. The sound is still excellent, but yeah, definitely a big ask at that price point. Although when I was putting up the review, I saw they were already on sale for $169 at Best Buy. So the price might come down a little bit, but if you can afford it, if you're looking in that high end range for gaming headphones, like a gaming headset with a boom mic, and you also would like the flexibility of being able to take the boom off, connect it wirelessly, and use them as just standard headphones, which is what I ended up doing a lot, just using these as a pair of wireless headphones with my phone. They were great for that. So it's like 2 pairs of headphones in one, which kind of helps offset the price a little bit. But that's up to you. More detailed listening impressions are in the review. Full specifications and all that are in the review, as well as like links to go find this out there online. So read about it at pcper.com if you are so inclined. And we will move on to news of the week. And this is the first story. I'm just going to start off with the big one this week. It's kind of a 2-part story, but it all started with Jim posting news about the latest GeForce driver. This is 4.17.71 that was released, which enables the G-Sync compatibility that we saw at CES, which enables, as you may have heard, compatibility with FreeSync monitors, although NVIDIA is saying that there was only 12 that they have validated themselves internally using some sort of proprietary validation process. It theoretically can work with just about any, but there are some hardware limitations on the NVIDIA side as well, which has become the topic of discussion in comments and around the web. So I will let Jim take this one.
Yeah, so obviously, as Sebastian said, I agree. This was probably the biggest announcement out of NVIDIA's camp during CES. And now with the hardware limitations, are you referring to the restrictions on GPU generation?
Yeah, Pascal and Turing are the only compatible NVIDIA architectures. Anything like 900 series and below, this will not even show up as an option for you.
Do you know how angry that makes me feel?
Yeah, and that was unfortunate because NVIDIA wasn't clear about that initially, and obviously G-Sync has been around for a lot longer than those two architectures.
Yeah, I mean, G-Sync was introduced with the 600 series, so GTX 660, 670, 680, and I've got a pair of 780s and SLI that I came home all excited, downloaded the drivers, looked for G-Sync, and it wasn't there.
Yeah,
I'm having the same problem with my 1080, but that might be because I don't have variable refresh rate monitors. So I'm every bit as upset as you are.
Well, that would do it. Yeah, so that is unfortunate. But if you do have Pascal and Turing, so it would work for you, Jeremy, if you got one of those variable refresh rate displays.
You know, and something to mention here is that some of these FreeSync monitors, you actually have to turn on FreeSync in the menu options.
Yes, that's another requirement too, is that going into, based on the monitor, you may have to enable that. And you may not have had that enabled if you were already gaming with one of these displays on an NVIDIA card, because why would you? It wasn't going to work. So making sure that that's enabled. It kind of reminds me of the days of the first 4K monitors when you had to turn on like multi-stream transport to get the full 4K 60 image. So there's a lot of details here that NVIDIA, based on the way that they announced this, wants to wash their hands of, obviously. So, because that's why I think they're going about this the way they are. We don't want to be the support center for you trying to get this to work. If you want a guaranteed experience, they offer G-Sync monitors that they've certified. If you want to try this, you can, but it's going to be up to you to figure it out. And the good and bad news is that obviously they've certified these 12 displays as working. Good timing on the video switch there, Google. So they've certified these 12. There are others that are working. We've linked a Google Sheet, a shared Google Sheet in that article that is tracking user experiences. So basically, people are going in, they're putting their monitor, their FreeSync monitor model number in, testing it on different GPUs, and then reporting their experiences. A lot of bad experiences. A lot of people saying that it flickers or that the display is blanking or there's other issues, which kind of supports NVIDIA's stance that we can't just enable this and have it work. There is a difference. But some of them are some of the problems are more acceptable. Maybe it's a little bit of ghosting around some edges, but you don't really care and you're okay with that, then you can turn it on. The key, though, is you do have to if you don't have a certified monitor, you have to turn it on manually in Control Center, NVIDIA Control Center. And there's a video there we've linked as well in the article showing folks how to do that from WCCF Tech. It's very simple. It just may not be what you're used to if you haven't been using G-Sync all these years. But the difference too is man, the prices are so much better. You're not paying for that G-Sync hardware. So as I was putting together the list of displays that are certified and linking them over to like Amazon and Newegg, G-Sync monitors, I'm used to spending $400, $500, $600 and up. And you're getting 24 and 27-inch FreeSync monitors for $200 to $300 in many cases. So it's enticing. It's worth trying out. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy a FreeSync monitor just to use it this way, unless you're sure that it's one of the certified ones. But if you have one already and you weren't able to take advantage of variable refresh, this is the time to do it.
I guess the issues that they're having with, in terms of like, blinking and that, a lot of these things are easy fixes. I know I was talking to Tech Wendell, and he's got a couple of them. He hasn't, detailed them yet, but he's been working kind of behind the scenes to get some of these things working and running like they should. And so, don't be discouraged if your FreeSync monitor is not on the list, the recommended G-Sync compatible list, because a lot of things are going to work. And like you said, you link that Google Docs where people have been going through and saying, hey, this works, this has problems, whatever. That's good to take a look at. Don't despair. There are probably going to be people working on a lot of little fixes here, so pay attention, and you're going to have a better experience in gaming if you've got an NVIDIA card and a FreeSync monitor. It's a free upgrade, which is wunderbar.
So if you have a little bit of difficulty along the way, well, it was free, so it's just something to chip away at. Learn a bit more.
It lends, I guess, the whole thing lends a little bit of credence if you want to trust what NVIDIA was showing at CES. They were showing some examples of monitors that did not make their select list of 12. There was one that was blinking very badly. There was another one that was ghosting very badly, and they were kind of showing like the worst examples. But not every monitor has the capability of performing the same, and certainly not with variable refresh, different ranges, different capabilities. And obviously, I think some people are the ones who are complaining that it was working, but they were getting blinking, that sort of thing. They are seeing some of that. But I thought it was kind of interesting to see, I guess, a little bit of the backlash in the fact that only newer hardware is supporting this feature at all. You'd think somebody running like 700, 800, or 900 series graphics, they're the ones who might benefit the most from variable refresh. If they have a monitor that can go down a little bit, they can get smoother results at maybe a lower frame rate. And if you're running 10 or 20 series hardware, then you probably already are at high enough frame rate that you could get that kind of like VSync experience on even a 60 hertz monitor that's pretty smooth. So in any case, like we said, it's free. It's something extra, but of course, not everybody will. Well, I guess you can't really ever make anybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. Let's move on. The next news story on the list is actually, this is from Jeremy. This is about the NUMA disassociator from a company, I think it's Core Prio.
I mean, I would go with Prio.
Okay.
I honestly have no idea why, but it just seems right. But that's the software. It's you get it off of Bitsum. It's happily open sourced and interesting. And if you're not a pleb like me who doesn't have one of the fancy 2990 WXs or 2970s and aren't stuck using Ryzen Master, you can install it, and it offers a better way of dealing with memory addressing than either the built-in Windows one, which is just friggin' awful, or AMD's own dynamic link mode, which is better. But when Phoronix did the review and took a look at it, they could see that by using the Core Prio software, the NUMA dissociator, it worked a bit better. Not amazingly better. We're talking a very, very small amount, but it's noticeably better than the people who made the processor, which suggests this might become more interesting for Windows users as they go forward, especially when you're looking at these workstation class, or if you're insane and want to try it on an Epic, which could be a possibility as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. It's relatively new. I think it was out for about a week now. And, you know, us Threadripper users aren't exactly the biggest crowd going, but there's some of us, and we really like screwing around with our hardware. It's fun. So if you've got an acceptable processor for it, give it a shot. Or switch to Linux and don't worry about it.
Yeah. And you can read in the article you linked to the Phoronix article where they were doing this benchmarking. Speaking of AMD, next up we have a news post on an interview that it was actually Hard OCP that conducted the interview. Kyle over there.
Herc.
With Scott Herkelman, yes. And he was discussing, you know, the CES news, Radeon 7. I read through this. A lot of good information. He shared some details that we didn't have before. Like he was asked about HDMI support and some other things. But did you have a chance to go through the whole thing, Jeremy?
Well, I mean, spoilers first here. Sadly, he didn't spill anything we didn't really already know. I mean, that was sort of the hope of it, was that, you know, he let something nice slip. But I mean, for the most part, we know that the card that Dr. Lisa Su was showing, the triple fans, will be essentially the card that you're buying if you buy directly from AMD. One dingy. It's rated for 300 watts, and it is obviously going to use two 8-pin PCI power connectors. But I mean, even when they're pegging him for, you know, is the MSRP going to be perfect? Well, it might be, it might not be. He goes into looking at FreeSync 2 and how 4K is really where the higher end resolution, or the higher end gamers, the resolution of their choice, which will be interesting. And one thing that was interesting and is going to disappoint a lot of people is it's not going to natively support HDMI 2.1. They were talking about possibly an external adapter, probably an active display port, which would let them do it. But as far as built in directly to the hardware, don't expect to see it right off the bat. So hopefully we'll hear a bit more from these guys and a bit more about Vega 20.
You know, Herkelman's kind of an interesting guy. He's worked. He originally started with VisionTech, and then when it kind of converted into BFG Tech, And then when they were going downhill, he actually was working to get BFG AMD based GPUs out into market, and he did it in kind of an interesting way that did not make any friends. So it's kind of cool to see him back into the industry, but he worked hard to try to keep BFG up and running and going. So he's an interesting fella.
Oh, and he worked at NVIDIA for a little while too. It was like their GM for GTX stuff.
I think so.
Everywhere.
Maybe here and there.
Okay. Jim, the next point on the list is this you, this Casper?
Yeah, we want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsor this week, which is Casper. And, we've talked about Casper if you've seen the show before. They've been around for a while, and they are a company that I love to support because I've been sleeping on a Casper mattress for 3 or 4 years now. We've got several of them at the house. And it's not one of those things where they send you a free one because you're the advertiser or you're the host. I bought them years ago before I started this, and I love them. And that's because Casper's mattresses are designed by humans for humans. The original Casper mattress combines multiple supportive memory foams for a high-quality sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Casper's breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulate your body temperature all through the night. And they're not just a mattress company. Casper offers a wide array of sleep products for an overall better sleep experience. And their mattresses are made in the USA. Buying a Casper mattress is easy too. All you have to do is order online, and in a few days, a mattress will be delivered to your door in a compact box. Move the box into the bedroom, open it up, and the mattress expands out to full size. It's kind of crazy how they pack these even up to king size mattresses in these relatively small boxes. And then you just kind of let it expand, and in no time you'll be enjoying a great night's sleep. Plus, there's free shipping and free returns in the US and Canada. And best of all is Casper's risk-free 100-night trial. We spend 1/3 of our lives on a mattress, so it's important to truly sleep on a mattress before committing. And that's why Casper gives you 100 nights to try it out and see if it's the right mattress for you. And if it's not, just let them know, and you can return the mattress for a full refund anytime in that 100-night period. But
dude,
again,
speak for yourself with the 1/3 of your life on a mattress.
Yeah, if we're lucky, 1/3 of our lives will be on a mattress.
Wish.
But you know what, Josh? That makes, for those who can't get that much sleep, that makes having quality sleep when you can get it all the more important. And I know that I've slept better since I've slept on a Casper mattress. I think you guys will too. We couldn't be happier with our Casper mattresses, and we want to make sure that you get a chance to try them out for yourself. Podcast listeners will get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/PCPer and using promo code PCPer at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. That's $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/PCPer and using offer code PCPer at checkout. And we thank Casper for their continued support of the PC Perspective podcast.
All right. Moving on to the next news story. This is one I think Jeremy had worked on. This is about the Intel Micron split.
Actually, that's me. And
okay.
I think Jeremy might have written the original story months ago, and then Alan talked about it. Remember Alan, that guy, before he left to go work?
No Alan anymore.
The guy who hasn't been with us for 10 years today?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it 10 years today?
He couldn't.
Obviously not.
Couldn't wait. But anyway, so as you may recall, so Intel developed 3D XPoint technology with Micron. They manufacture it out of a facility in Utah. I think it's the IMFT facility. And back in October, I think it was, Micron decided to exercise their option to buy out Intel on that manufacturing facility. And they announced it, but they couldn't actually act on it till 2019. So it's now 2019, and this week, I think it was on Monday, Micron officially said they were initiating that option in their contract with Intel. Intel came out with a statement in response basically saying, well, we've known this is happening. They couldn't do it officially, but we knew it was happening. We've prepared for it. Intel can delay the closing on that option until I think for one full calendar year. So it wouldn't be until early 2020 at the latest that this deal would close. But look, it seems like it's going to happen sooner than that, maybe in the next 6 months or so. But Intel's statement is we are prepared for this. We've already adjusted our plans. And so there shouldn't be any short-term issues with Optane supplies, because I should say this all relates to Optane, of course. Optane is Intel's name for their 3D XPoint technology. Micron, even though they co-developed it, has yet to put a product to market using 3D XPoint. They say it will be coming later this year, though, their first product there. In terms of Intel and Optane, no short-term shortages, and they're publicly stating very confidently there won't be any long-term issues. They are looking to either buy 3D XPoint from Micron once Micron fully owns that facility, or potentially have their own solution in the long term for manufacturing it themselves. But we don't know the details yet, other than them stating publicly there will be no issue, and that the divorce, if you want to call it that we knew was happening for so long, is now finally underway.
You got to wonder how much of it is them realizing, wow, the market for this isn't as big as we thought it might be.
Yeah.
Definitely possible. This is totally unrelated, but I found this interesting, and we'll have to see exactly what this means for Windows 10 users who may not be as in love with Cortana as Microsoft would like them to be. But news today, I saw Mary Jo Foley tweet this, so I went and checked it out. Microsoft, in their latest insider build, so it's build 18317, has separated Cortana from search. So now the search bar on your taskbar will just be in a local Windows search on your computer. And then Cortana is a separate application, which is their, as they say, of course, their voice-first assistant that everybody knows and loves. So that is, apparently some people have already been testing this. It's coming. And my first thought was, does that mean that if I go through all of the steps required to remove Cortana or permanently disabled Cortana, does that mean it will no longer take Windows Search with it, which was the old problem? So we will have to see how that works. I don't know if anybody else here feels maybe less.
I am less than charitable when it comes to Cortana.
Yeah.
I work in a 300 plus person computer company.
Let's get you set up to a network. Shut up, Cortana.
I hate Cortana. And, it's just, and every once in a while, Cortana still, every once in a while, just decides to take up tons of resources. So people on laptops running on battery, their fans spool up. They're saying that things are running slow and their battery just dies. And I hate Cortana. You can't turn it off easily.
Yeah, you can.
You can, but GPO, you remove other functionality.
GPO. I've been testing it out at work, and it hasn't interfered with a single thing yet.
Well,
that's that third-party application that disables telemetry and stuff, right?
No.
That's GPO. That's the group policy.
Oh, group policy. Okay,
Yep.
I'm thinking of the third-party app I was looking at today.
As long as you've got a professional or enterprise, there is actually a spot.
Really? Okay. Yeah. And it actually disables the process.
Oh, wait. Did I link to the wrong one? I think I did. But yes, it disables the process. No, that was my trick on how to disable the stupid asking for extra names.
For me, the thing about Cortana was always that I was willing to give it a shot, but in order to have it really be effective, you had to use Microsoft services. Like I had to have my email in the Mail app or in Outlook, and I had to have my calendar in the Windows 10 Calendar app. And it can tie into certain third-party services, and maybe it's better now because I honestly haven't tried to use it in about 2 years. But when I was first trying to just see if it could work, I wasn't willing to do that. I don't want to use those apps. I'm either in Gmail or in my cloud-based Exchange email, but not through Microsoft. I don't use the Windows Calendar, and when you're not using those things, it wasn't helpful to me, and I don't know what the point is. Microsoft seems to be more open to third-party integration these days. It's like the People Bar, the People Bar, which is being killed because it didn't have enough third-party integration. Nobody used it. It's kind of a similar situation.
Sorry.
Go ahead and pop in there, Sebastian. You can do it.
There was some activity going on in the house. I was waiting for it to pass. Yeah, I mean, I was actually just now looking because every time I'm using my laptop, the only Windows 10 device I use on a daily basis, I'm annoyed whenever I go to the process manager for some reason and see, maybe it's only 4%, but I don't like having CPU cycles on a mobile device wasted by a process that I'm not actually using because I disabled everything with all the sliders, but it never actually stops running.
But come on, man, the voice is from Halo. How cool is that?
Yeah,
about as cool as Halo is.
And after about 7 years, she goes insane.
I don't want to go insane, so I don't use it at all. I don't like Bing search, and I don't like Cortana, and I don't need it in my life. And actually, it was funny because I was just going to look at what kind of system resources it was using on this computer that I'm streaming from, and it turns out this is a Windows 8.1 computer, so it doesn't exist on here.
Good God, you actually have a recommendation reasonably for moving to Windows 8 or 8.1.
For mission critical things where you can actually, control updates completely. Like I decide if I want to update the system, it will never restart on me. I use this for now. And someday I'm sure it won't. Skype won't work with it anymore, and other apps won't work with it anymore, I'm sure. But I can. I'll still use Windows 8.1. Applications for testing graph. That was a terrible transition, and I don't know what I'm saying, but let's move on. Port Royal news about.
Are you going to sing Port Royal?
I don't know Port Royal.
In Cortana's voice?
No, Lord. I've never run Port Royal.
Oh,
you mean Randy Marsh?
Okay.
RTX has got to be. You love it when I sing. Okay, everybody cringes when I sing, but that's the point. It elicits a response.
It's true.
And in this case, it is negative. Yeah. And so
I'm not
feel
sure
better.
It was negative. I kind of felt nothing for a few moments.
Well,
I felt
that's
numb.
sad. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I'm still processing it. Yeah, Royal, something. Basically, what it boils down to, and this is a story from Bjorn 3D, doing some initial Port Royal testing, something that I'm going to be visiting soon. But even with the high-end NVIDIA cards, they struggle to maintain 60 frames per second.
Oh, no, they don't even come close. An i7 8700K, 32 gigs of 3200 megahertz RAM, and the 2080 Ti Founders Edition averaged about 37 frames per second.
At what resolution?
That headline made it sound better.
No, well, I tried to make it sound not so
struggle to maintain 60 isn't quite,
horrible.
37, but this is where that secret sauce of the deep learning.
4K.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was all right, but DLSS, which presumably is rendering things at a lower resolution and having the AI, create the high resolution version in real time for you, seems to be the answer to higher frame rates with current gen hardware. And of course, this is early days, and very few, if any, applications even supported. Battlefield 5 is still the only thing that you ever see this demoed with. Obviously, for those of us who struggle to see the difference or have to be the difference has to be pointed out. Maybe it's too early to be enabling this for that premium experience. And certainly, if you want to crank up the settings and play at 4K, you probably don't want to be turning it on right now.
On the plus side, I mean, I'd be really pissed if they were maxing everything out and they were getting 120 frames a second.
Would you?
that would be a bit upsetting. But, all right, it's already old and busted. We got something else to push our graphics card. That
True.
spent
You're talking about the
on.
benchmark itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a benchmark, I like it when things are, when it comes out and the very best struggles with it. Like, remember when Crysis came out and nothing could play Crysis at an acceptable...
show I ever played.
Yeah, and it took years. And maybe the game wasn't the best optimized.
It was actually highly optimized, and it was interesting. I mean, if there's who is it? No Clip did a Crysis thing, I believe. Anyway,
sounds right.
I know it's a total segue, but you got to check that out because it's really interesting. Some of the things that they did, but regardless, it was a shader heavy application. And it brought everything to its knees when you played it. And I remember had him to 7900 GTXs, maybe 9800s.
That sounds right.
Yeah, but anyway, it was 89. I can't remember. It's been a long time ago. But yeah, I put those on high, and it was a slideshow, and then I took it down a couple of notches. Still looked good, but at least was playable. So yeah, but anyway, regardless, sorry. But yeah, it's nice that we still have applications that can push modern hardware so we can see where the trajectory is and where we need to be, rather than just like, hey, I got Destiny 2. It looks really good. And with this, pretty decent setup, I'm getting 120 frames per second. What's the fun in that as an enthusiast? Bless you.
I tried muting, but even with the microphone at 0, it caught that.
Right.
Well, we'll see what the next gen can do with Port Royal on high settings at 4K.
Well, you got to think that 1/3 of the die is like machine learning. The other third is RTX stuff, and then the other, okay, maybe it's not that kind, but there is a significant amount of ML that does the DLSS. Another portion RTX, just the ray tracing, and then the usual GPU. I mean, they're trying to get the utilization on these chips as high as possible to be able to show that it's worth it to buy these products, because I don't think they've been selling nearly as many as they want to.
Interesting. Anybody have anything else that I didn't add to this list? Because we're already through with the news, if you can believe it.
That's all right. We've been getting a lot of comments that our shows are too damn long.
There you go.
So,
perfect.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to picks of the week and get
balance
the hell
it
out
out
of here. Jim, you're up first.
Okay, everybody's going to make fun of me, but you know what? I don't. Well, I care a little, but only a little. And my pick is the, if I can bring up the screen sharing here, it's the iPhone XS series, or the new iPhone smart battery cases. Now, if you remember when Apple first launched these maybe 3 years ago for the iPhone 7, I think it was a joke. I mean, everybody hated it because it looked ridiculous. Like it's got this hump, and it was like, this can't be real, right? But I got one for my wife's phone because they only made it. They didn't make one for the plus size versions at that point. There was only the smaller iPhones. So I got one for my wife, and in person, it's not that bad. In fact, it's actually kind of nice, and it's got a nice capacity to it. Feels kind of nice in the hand and everything. But they made those for, I think, for the 6, might have been the 6S and the 7 was the generations, and they didn't make anything for the 10, and they hadn't had anything thus far for the 10S and the 10R. And then this week they launched a new set of cases for the 10S, 10S Max, so it's their first larger one, and the 10R. So you can pick them up now. They're not inexpensive. It's $129 for the 10S Max version. But it's, and I ordered one. I haven't received it yet, so we'll see. But it appears to be the same material as the older ones, which I like. So it's got this nice feeling. It wirelessly charges, or it can charge via Lightning. So
does
that's
it wirelessly charge with Apple's wireless charging pad?
Well, funny you should mention that because I think it was like the Apple Store Brazil listing for this had references to AirPower in the description. So I had to take that out.
There's hope yet.
Yeah, maybe. But
that one's shaved thinner.
I'm sorry?
The Brazilian model is shaved a little.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
It doesn't have the fuzzy feel to it. It's very smooth.
Yeah. But anyway, if you're an iPhone user of the new generation, and apparently it also works on the 10. If you get the one for the smaller phone, it'll work on the iPhone 10 as well. So if you have one of those, you're looking for a battery case, and you don't want to go with one of the cheapo ones that are on Amazon. There's a lot of Chinese ones that get real bad reviews. Check this out. Mophie has had one, but they just announced it at CES. Who knows when it'll ship? So if you want one now, this is one to get.
They're kind of like the grandfather of this concept, wasn't it? Like the Mophie Juice Box Air or something was the original years and years ago.
Yeah, Mophie's been making a series of battery cases for iPhones for years. Yeah.
I guess I won't judge you because I haven't seen one in person, but the idea of
should totally
10S Max with a huge protrusion on the back, I don't know. But then again, not everybody carries their phone in their front pocket like I do. Maybe people who carry their phone elsewhere, it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah, side pocket of a cargo pant.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but you said it. So yeah, I mean the cargo. When you're wearing cargo pants, you might as well just have one of those like charging, like USB devices in your pocket, and just have like a cable. And plug like whenever you put your phone in your pocket, you could plug it in and be charging it. Nobody would even know.
Why not both?
I guess. All right, Jeremy is next.
Okay, now this falls very close to. This is just so simple. It's stupid, and you shouldn't do it. But you actually have a 5 ohm resistor that you can just grab, or do you have to screw around with your 5.6s and test until you find one that actually is? So this is just a simple 3D printed case. It's a fair size, so it gives you the chance to really play with your 3D printer and test it out. The guy who did it quoted something along the lines of 2 kilos of plastic that he used for it. Yeah, 2 kilos of filament to do it, and 100 hours to print it out. So it's not just for sorting out your resistors, but it's also a neat little project to prove your 3D printer is worth what you spent it for. But boom, all of a sudden you got all those resistances printed out handily on the front, and you can just hand sort them and keep them there. Because we all know that, resistors are not exactly as good as they're rated, and that can be a serious problem sometimes.
Yeah, but you know what? You're still resisting.
I am.
And resistance is futile. Hey, Josh, you know what else has resistors?
Lots of things. Women's March?
Oh, no. So that's it. It's been fun, everyone. I'll see you at the reunion show at San Quentin.
Something, motherboard, Josh, go.
Well, anyway, it was a nice run. The ASRock X470 Taichi, it's a great motherboard, and it was unavailable for a while. Ooh, you can save $72.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, but it finally came back, and this is a good thing because this is a really good AM4 motherboard that I'm pretty sure it's got all the power phases and whatnot that it can handle the 3000 series of processors and that are coming up that have not been announced as compared to what other people have thought that they would do in CS. But anyway, it probably will handle PCIe 4.0 as well. I mean, it's a really high quality board. It's also, if you spend a little bit more and get the ultimate, you get the Aquantia 10G Ethernet, which I'm pretty sure all of you have run out and bought a 10G switch post haste. No?
Maybe if I had this board, I would.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Well, no, okay. The regular Tai Chi does not have that one, but the Ultimate does. That's about $30 more. So,
okay.
Pick your poison. But still very, very good board. Control the LED lighting. It's it's got everything you kind of need.
You had me at LEDs.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Oh, me. I'm next. You know what? Instead of something strange and out of print or some kind of vintage component that's impractical, here's something very practical. I picked a pair of headphones I just got, actually. These are about $30 on Amazon. And I've been a Koss fan since I was a little kid because
Koss.
Yeah.
He's a legend in the industry, man.
The KPH30i K. And I think the K at the end of this one is just because it's black, although it's more of a gray.
Thought it meant it was overclockable.
Yeah, well, yeah, the multiplier unlocked.
Okay.
Because they're analog, so you can drive them as hard as you want. As hard as your headphone amplifier will allow them to go. I actually have them right here. And what's interesting about the design of these, they're very lightweight, mostly plastic. They have like this silicone layer that actually sits against your head, so it keeps them from moving around. And then it adds.
That's gonna feel good on my bald skin.
Yes, it will.
I didn't think about that. I should shave my head and try them.
You should.
But otherwise they're pretty lightweight. If you've used Koss headphones, they have kind of that Koss sound, like the Koss Porta Pros, which I've had for years. They have more bass than you'd expect from a lightweight open ear headphone. So they have a very full sound. These actually sound a little bit more balanced to me than the Porta Pros. The Porta Pros are very bass heavy, even though they have a small driver. These are not. These are more balanced. These have, I compared them to the iGrado, which I think it was replaced by the eGrado, which is their entry-level, like $40, $50 Grado headphone that uses like the SR60 drivers, a version of them. But that kind of sound for $30 and very, very comfortable, very lightweight. And some interesting little features. I'm almost done, but like the plug end, if you can see that, there's a little spring on it to just help.
Oh, hey,
with,
so it doesn't crack like those Apple products.
If you have a phone that still has a headphone jack and you have this in your pocket, then a lot of stress is taken off of that joint where I have had headphones fail in the past. So just little touches like that.
Do you see that? That's my S9. It's still got a headphone jack.
Yes,
unlike your Apple crap.
Yeah, not since the iPhone 7 has an Apple device provided an on-device headphone jack. Although you could argue, I guess, that the dongle is just an extension of the headphone cable or something, but it's like the weakest, thinnest cable I've ever seen. But anyway, yeah, if you're looking for lightweight headphones and don't want to close, like the headphones I'm wearing right now that isolate the world, if you still want to be able to hear the world around you, then these are a good option.
$30 is dirt cheap.
Yeah, and very good sound. These do not sound like cheapo headphones at all. Good. These have a much better, fuller, richer sound than I was expecting.
Yeah, Koss was a big dude in the 70s. His reputation got a little tarnished, but still knows what he's doing, I guess.
I mean, they sell $5 headphones that sound like $5 headphones, but they also sell really good stuff for less than I think anybody else really approaches when you get into like this style, like lightweight over ear headphones. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this, you can go to pcper.com/podcast and watch and listen to all of our podcasts, going all the way back, perhaps, to the beginning. Or maybe you have to use the Internet Archive for that. But we've been doing this. This is our 12th year of podcasting. And
yeah, I think number 30 is what's still available that hasn't been lost to the ages.
Something like that.
Yeah. I think the Internet Archive lets you go all the way back. I know I've been back to like December 2007.
It was a very good year.
Do you know what's crazy?
What's crazy, Josh?
I still had the same amount of hair back then.
I was going to say, you're still wearing the same headset, but no, you find that you got a different headset. You have earphones and microphone now, but that silver headset was legendary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've still got it somewhere.
Little Grado?
If you want to see it, just look at Jeremy's profile picture.
Yeah, no, it's within arm's reach.
Oh, God, those Logitech ones.
No. It was the Plantronics.
Oh,
you're
that's
right.
right. Yes,
You're right.
yes.
Yeah.
Built to last. You can also follow us on Twitter. It's twitter.com/PCPer for updates whenever news posts go up and other things. And you can follow the rest of us on Twitter. I'm at Sebastian Peak.
I'm Josh D. Walrath, and these are my
Don't forget the D.
Plantronics.
Don't forget that Josh.
Nobody.
It's all about the D.
But anyway, yeah, within arm's reach.
Mine died. I threw him out.
Oh.
Legendary. All right. Well, that actually is going to wrap it up. We've been doing this for less than an hour. Can you believe that?
This is a nice change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you'd like that.
It was a short week, having the podcast, the most recent one go up Friday night or Saturday morning. So not a lot happened in the last couple days.
Yeah. But more stuff is coming. I'm working on stuff. I don't know if you can see behind me.
New audio and a
a couple
GTI
of things that
RTX.
sent over that I haven't had a chance to finish yet, but that really fancy new audio file approved sound card. We're going to be doing some RTX 2060 overclocking and 1440p game testing updates and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm working on in the next few days. But yeah, keep checking PCPer.com. You should obviously make it your homepage, refresh it throughout the afternoon and evening of every day and morning, just all day. So until next time, I'm Sebastian Peak.
Are we doing that again?
I mean, we don't have to.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm going with the flow, the Creflo dollar flow, and say Josh Walrath.
And I'm Jim Tanis, and I'm reevaluating my life choices.
One of us. One of us.
We could do a different outro, like, you can just take your pick. Obviously, you're going to be staying up all night editing this anyway, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Just more material.
I got a lot to upload, just telling you.
I'm ready to receive your upload.
Please tell me you were at like 32-bit 192, sending him like AAC files.
Close, but he hasn't told us where to stick it yet. So
yeah, I
that.
got to get that going. So let's wrap this up.
All right. Anything else?
Well,
no, let's just say good night.
Okay, that was nice. From all of us at PC Perspective, good night.
I've already edited it in my mind to that last Josh line, so we're good.
Okay, perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Now all you have to do is edit it in real life.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay, I'm going to stop my recording.
Yeah, local recording is dead.
Local recording 54 minutes, 21 seconds. Yes!
Was I supposed to clap?
No, I just did.
No, we already got the clap, so.
Okay.
Once you clap, you can't go back.
Well, I mean, thank God for antibiotics.
True.
Yeah.
And I will send you a link in like 1 minute here to upload to Dropbox for those.
Very well. All right.
Yeah, there
Good
was
night,
some
everybody.
odd when changing cameras.
What?
There was some really odd video distortions, especially in Jeremy and Jim.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to wait and see. But anyway, just letting you know, it's especially Jeremy. His was really flickering bad. I can see it flickering quite a bit, and
yeah. Well, maybe the recording that Google made won't have it. But thanks everyone in the chat for joining us. Appreciate it. Obviously, this is not ideal. We're still working things out. It's just we're kind of busy. Got back from CES.
Baby steps.
Immediately had a bunch of reviews lined up. So we're
Stop making excuses.
I only make excuses.
All right.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.